Introduction. More than just hard work. How many times have you heard that success is all about working hard? In American culture, we admire the self-made person, the one who pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, who built everything from scratch with their own hands. We take pride in our work ethic, intelligence, and education. But why do we so often believe that wealth and success depend entirely on us? You can work tirelessly, climb the career ladder, and earn a great income. But do you ever stop and ask yourself, what does it really mean to be rich? Is wealth simply about money, big houses, and fancy cars? Or is true wealth something deeper? Many people who have everything the world calls success still feel empty inside. Why? Could it be that we're missing something essential? Perhaps behind our achievements, there is someone greater than us who provides the foundation for everything we have. The biblical passage in context. Who gives you wealth? The Bible gives us a clear answer to this question. In Deuteronomy 8 verse 18, we find a powerful reminder. Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 NIV. Moses spoke these words to the Israelites as they stood on the verge of entering the promised land. They had spent years wandering in the wilderness, surviving only because of God's provision. Now they were about to enter a land flowing with abundance. But Moses warned them, when you become prosperous, do not forget the one who gave it to you. People might be tempted to think that their wealth and success came solely from their own efforts. But this verse teaches a crucial truth. It is God who gives us the ability, strength, and opportunities to create wealth. Our talents, intelligence, health, and the doors that open for us all come from Him. This is a call to humility and gratitude. Instead of taking full credit for our success, we must remember God's hand in our journey. To remember the Lord means to acknowledge His role in our lives, to trust in His guidance, and to live in gratitude for all He provides. A real-life story, from pride to humility. Let's bring this to life with a real story. Meet John, a man who fully believed in the American dream. From a young age, he was taught that if he worked hard enough, he could achieve anything. As an adult, John worked 70-hour weeks, built his own business, and took great pride in being completely self-made. He saw his success as proof of his effort and intelligence. He had the house, the car, and the lifestyle he had always wanted. God was an afterthought, something he considered irrelevant to his financial success. But then, everything collapsed. A sudden economic downturn and a few bad business deals wiped out his company. Overnight, John lost nearly everything he had built. Sitting at his kitchen table, staring at unpaid bills and closed contracts, he felt completely helpless for the first time in his life. How did this happen? He whispered to himself. I worked so hard. What do I do now? Fear gripped his heart. He had spent years believing that his success was entirely in his own hands, but now his hands were empty. That night, as he sat in the quiet, John remembered something his grandmother used to say. God will never leave you. Remember Him in both good times and bad. He had ignored those words for years, but now they echoed in his mind. With tears in his eyes, John whispered his first real prayer in years. God, I can't do this alone. If you're there, help me. Over the next few months, something changed in John's life. Not instantly, his problems didn't disappear overnight, but there was a shift in his heart. He felt a deep peace he hadn't known before. Opportunities began to open up. He found a stable job and started spending more time with his family. He reconciled with friends he had neglected during his busy years. Eventually, he started a new business, but this time, he built it on faith rather than pride. He even began giving generously, realizing that true wealth wasn't just about making money. It was about honoring God and helping others. Looking back, John says, I used to think my success was all about me. Now I know that everything I have comes from God. And when you trust Him, He provides more than just financial success. He gives you peace, purpose, and a heart to bless others. A parable, the boy and his lemonade stand. Imagine a little boy who dreams of having a new bicycle. His father, instead of buying it for him immediately, decides to teach him a lesson. I'll earn the money myself, the boy declares. His father smiles and suggests he set up a lemonade stand in their neighborhood. Excited, the boy eagerly starts his business. He sets up a small table, makes a sign that says fresh lemonade, $1, and sells drinks to neighbors. He works hard, and at the end of the day, he proudly counts his earnings. I did it. I earned this all by myself, he shouts. His father kneels beside him and asks gently, Did you really do it alone? The boy hesitates. Who bought the lemons and sugar? Who built the table and brought you the cups? Who sat next to you and gave you advice on how to talk to customers? The boy looks around and slowly realizes, without his father's help, he wouldn't have been able to do any of it. His father smiles and says, I wanted you to work hard, but I also wanted you to remember that I am always here to help. This simple story is a powerful picture of our relationship with God. Sometimes we act like the boy, proudly claiming that we are self-made, forgetting the one who provided everything we needed to succeed. But just like the father in this story, God patiently reminds us, I am the source of your strength, your resources, and your success. Practical application. So how do we learn to trust God in our finances and life? Here are some steps that can help. Recognize that everything you have comes from God. Start by recognizing that God is the ultimate source of your life and all your blessings. Your abilities, your work, even every day you live are gifts from Him. When you understand this, it becomes easier to rely on God's help rather than relying solely on your own strength. Pray and ask for God's guidance. Trusting God means communicating with Him. Tell Him about your financial needs, fears, and plans. Ask for wisdom to make the right decisions about money, work, and business. When you turn to God in prayer, you show that you are counting on Him, and God will surely guide you. Practice gratitude and contentment. Learn to thank God for what you already have, even if your resources are modest. Daily gratitude cultivates trust. You see that God cares for you now, and you stop worrying too much about tomorrow. Remember, the rich are not those who have much, but those who are grateful for what they have. When you are content with what you have today, it is easier for you to trust God for what you do not have yet. Be generous and share with others. It may seem counterintuitive, but generosity strengthens our faith in God's provision. When you help those in need or donate to a good cause, you are saying, God, I know you will provide for me, so I am not afraid to give away some of what I have. Such faith is not left unanswered. God blesses a sincere, generous heart and proves that His hand gives even more. Do your best and leave the rest to God. Trusting does not mean sitting back. Work hard, budget, improve your skills, do your part. But remember that the end result is in God's hands. After you've done your best, relax and trust God with the things you can't control. He is faithful and will never let you down. Final challenge. We often say, I am the creator of my own success. But today you've seen that true success and abundance come from God's hand. God wants to bless you more than you can imagine, but He also wants your heart to be with Him. He is a loving Father who is waiting for you to trust Him completely. Think about your life right now. In what areas are you relying solely on yourself? Isn't it time to let God step in and help you? Perhaps finances, work, business, or even family relationships have come to mind. God is able to strengthen you and give you wisdom exactly where you feel weak. But He is waiting for you to turn to Him and entrust the reins of your life to Him. Now is the time to make a choice. Continue to rely solely on your own efforts, or put your path in God's hands. This choice can change your entire life, just as it once changed John's life and gave wisdom to that boy in our parable. God will not fail you, you just have to try to trust. Are you ready to entrust your prosperity to God? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. It will help others see this content. You can also support our channel financially via PayPal. Even a small donation makes a difference to our ministry. Thank you very much for watching and your support. May the Lord bless you abundantly.